What is up, my friends? It Chapter 2 just got released. Well, for the most part. I actually got a chance to go see an early screening of it. So if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you go watch the movie because it is incredible. Now, I will say this. It is incredible as a whole with the other movie, but I do believe that the first chapter, the one with the kids, was far superior. I'll get more into that in my review, which should be coming out by tomorrow. But for the most part, I still enjoyed this film for what it is. But you're here for the ending. You want to know what happens at the end, whether you watched it or not. So, spoilers ahead, my friends. If you don't want anything spoiled, you have 1, 2, 3. Too late. Spoilers. Let's go. So, like anything that's adapted from a book, it can be different. Now, the ending of It Chapter 2 comes slightly different than the ending of the book in the miniseries, but overall the same outcome. Pennywise is defeated, and the rest of the Losers Club part ways. Well, some of them end up dying as well. But let's just break it all down. The Losers Club return to Derry after it begins wreaking havoc again, and it's time to put it down for good. They realize that the only way to bring it down is through a ritual called the Ritual of Chud, after Mike does some research on this. The ritual consists of them going through memories of that summer and finding a totem that was important to them during that summer that they injured it. For Bill, it is a paper boat he made for Georgie. For Beverly, it is the poem that Ben wrote for her. For Ben, it is the yearbook Beb signed. For Ritchie, it is a coin from the arcade he spent most of his time. Eddie, it is his inhaler he always had on him. And for Mike, it is the rock from the rock fight that they had when they first formed that bond that the losers had during that summer. And then we realize that Stanley isn't going to be coming to the reunion, and we find out that he actually committed suicide right before because he was scared to go. So it's up to them to find exactly what is his totem. And over time, they realize when they go back to the clubhouse that they initially had, that is the shower caps that he brought for them because he cared about them and didn't want spiders to get in their head. So now they have all the totems ready. So the losers begin the ritual, and they have to go back to the Neibold house, and they have to go all the way under. And then they start this ritual, and let me just say, this ritual, the way they made it happen in the series as compared to what they did with the movie far superior in my opinion. But I'll get more in that in another future video where I'll be talking about both. So they do the ritual, and it turns out that nothing happened. Pennywise didn't die. He turns into his arachnid close to true self form, and he tells them that when they did this ritual many years back, nothing happened either. Something that Mike forgot to tell the Losers Club. Mike just said that he thought it would be different now if they had more belief that they can defeat him, but no. It is as strong as ever, and he is going to go after all of them. So after scrambling through many caverns throughout the whole ending, going through their traumas once again, and just reliving everything, finally Ritchie just decides to put an end to it by throwing a rock at it. This catches his attention, and then the deadlights catch him. And as the deadlights are catching him, he is stunned now, and its mouth is open wide, and you can see the deadlights and everything. So Eddie takes this to his advantage to throw the spear through its mouth, hitting the deadlights, and we think that he pretty much killed them. Well, I mean, if we watch the miniseries and read the book, we know that's not the case. And then we see that it basically impales Eddie, and Eddie pretty much is dead at this point. The rest of the Losers Club and Mike remember an important detail in the Ritual of Chud, and that is that it has to adapt to whatever shape it is in. So that's the only way they can defeat him. If they can get him small, they would be able to take his heart out and pretty much kill him. And this is what they end up doing by demeaning him, as he calls himself the Eater of Worlds. They just call him a stupid clown and basically hurt his self-esteem. Turns into some weird baby looking thing, and they take his heart and destroy it altogether, and it is dead. It is no more, and the Neibold house caves in on itself, and we see the remaining losers go back to that lake that they went to when they were kids to share an emotional moment over Eddie's death, and they all go back to their lives. Ritchie has now come to terms with his sexuality, as well as we see him throughout the movie dealing with the fact that he wants to keep it a secret that he is actually gay. Ben and Beverly end up together. Mike finally leaves Derry, and Bill has regained his mojo when it comes to his writing. So what's the ending of all mean, and is it finally dead? To me, the ending symbolizes everybody finally coming to terms with their memories of who they really are, and they are no longer putting a mask of sorts. They are who they are, and they are true to themselves. At this point, Ritchie has understand that he is who he is, and that's okay. Ben also that he is not alone. Mike comes to terms with what has happened to his parents and accepting that, as well as the losers being his family now. Beverly wasn't going to be living under the shadow of abuse that she had from her father and now from her ex-husband, and Eddie didn't have to hide behind his placebos and his own fear anymore. He actually stood up for what was needed, and he saved Ritchie pretty much and helped the losers get a leverage over Pennywise. Stanley's letter at the end summarizes all of this as well and reinforces his logic of his actions in the beginning as well. It's definitely okay to say that the trauma that they had all suffered, whether it was because of, let's say, Bill with Georgie or Beverly with abuse and the rest, all of the other baggage they had on them has finally been unloaded and they're able to go on with their lives now. So it is definitely dead as well and gone for good. As Mike and Bill have their conversation on the phone, they realize that their memories are clear now because the fear is gone and they're not running away from it anymore. It is done. It is not holding anything over. He is definitely gone for good. So yeah, pretty much that's the ending of the film. The Ritual of Chud I thought was really cool the way they handled it in the movie, which was going to be difficult regardless. The way Stephen King wrote it would have been really interesting. I'm going to make a video talking about that as well, where I compare all three. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering about whether the turtle Maturin came into effect in any way, shape, or form, it sort of did, I want to say. We did see him at points in the first movie in the lake, but when it came down to it, I thought that we were going to get somebody having sort of a vision of a turtle. In this movie, we did see the turtle come out into play in the flashback scene that Ben had about social studies class, and we saw the turtle right there on the teacher's desk. But I thought that was interesting the way they would handle that, because I guess the way they handled it was pretty great, I guess, because I mean, imagine a giant flying turtle coming out of nowhere. Yeah, that would have been pretty insane, wouldn't it? But yeah, they handled it as best as they could, and I thought for what they had to do that this was the best way to do that. But yeah, Maturin basically is Pennywise's enemy. I've done a video on it before. I'll leave it linked below if you want to know more about it. And if you do want me to get more into the Ritual of Chud, I will definitely make a video for you on that by the end of the week. But yeah, lots of stuff to talk about this movie. I'm sure it's going to make 700 million for sure, so let's just see what it does. But anyways, what are your thoughts on the ending of It Chapter 2? Was it a conclusive ending you were hoping for? Did you enjoy the movie as well? I'll talk about that in my review, where I tell you exactly my thoughts on the movie. But overall, I am happy to say that I thought it was a great installment, and it was definitely going to be hard to do. But I'll talk more about that in my ending review. Anyways, as always, if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I break down movies, I talk about endings, review TV shows, games, music, all of that. So if you're into all of that, make sure you tune into Nerd Round by subscribing, hitting the bell notification. We're about to hit 8,000 subscribers. I'm so excited for that. But anyways, yeah, so once we hit 8,000 subscribers, I'm going to be changing a couple of things to the channel. I want to start making it a little bit more ideal for everybody to come and get their news here as well, not just ending in reviews, but everything is like breaking news. So I'm going to be making a website. I probably will have it linked below, so you can just go check it out right now. So yeah, I'm trying to make it into a larger community of sorts, where you can just come and discuss your favorite movies, and we discuss endings, we discuss theories on what's coming next. I also will be doing a video coming up shortly on the leaked Joker description of the movie and my thoughts on that. So if you're into that kind of stuff and just speculative and all that, which to me is pretty fun to talk about movies like that, you should definitely subscribe to the channel, because we'll be talking about that. But for the most part, I'm not sure what else to include in the channel. I am thinking about talking about technology to an extent, but for the most part, this channel is devoted to movies, TV shows, and then video games and music every now and then. But technology definitely is something I would hope to introduce in the future. Definitely will be on that website, however, but as video format goes, it's mainly going to be movies and stuff like that, but everything else in between that as well. But I don't know, let me know your thoughts below on it. I checked it on an IMAX and it was pretty great. I might check it out in 40x, which sounds terrifying. I've never seen the movie on 40x, and I've always wanted to have that experience, so I'm pretty excited to see how that's going to work out with the rumbling, the missed features, and then there's a scene in there, It Chapter 2, that I know is definitely going to get to me, but I don't know. I'm excited, so I'll have a video for you. Maybe I'll do a vlog style of it so you know what 4DX is as well and what the experience was overall. So if you ever want to check out a movie in 4DX, you know as well. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming this month for the channel, so make sure you subscribe for it all. But anyways, as always, if you haven't already subscribed, as I said, I'll see you next time. Stay positive.